Extreme! Alright kids, we are learning about cellular respiration today. Oh yeah! It occurs in plants and animals. That's cool. The chemical formula for cellular respiration is C6H12O6 plus 6O2 yields 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus 32 ATP. Wow! There are 3 steps in cellular respiration. They are glycolysis, citric acid cycle, and oxidative phosphorylation. Let's learn about them!
The respiration process is called glycolysis. Glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm. The reactants in the glycolysis process are glucose, ATP, and NAD+. There is 1 glucose, 2 ATPs, and 2 NAD+. Glucose then breaks down into 2 pyruvates. The NAD+ pick up the electrons and become NADH. After glycolysis is completed, there are 4 ATPs, but since 2 ATPs are required for the process to complete, only 2 ATP are gained.
After glycolysis is pyruvate oxidation and Krebs cycle, which make the 2 parts of the second step in cellular respiration. The first part is the pyruvate oxidation, which occurs in the matrix of the mitochondria. In this process, the 2 pyruvates from the glycolysis are oxidized. Each pyruvate loses one of its 3 carbon atoms, which go out of the body as carbon dioxide or CO2, while the other 2 atoms are combined with a coenzyme A, forming acetyl-CoA. In this process also, each pyruvate meets with a NAD+ as they lose their carbon atom, reducing it to NADH. The second part is the Krebs cycle, which also occurs in the matrix of the mitochondria. In this process, each acetyl-CoA loses its coenzyme A and both of its carbon atoms, which also go out of the body as carbon dioxides or CO2s. Each acetyl-CoA also reduces 3 NAD+ to 3 NADH and reduce 1 FAD to 1 FADH2, producing a total of 6 NADH and 2 FADH2. In the Krebs cycle also, a total of 2 ATPs are produced, 1 ATP for each acetyl-CoA. And now we take a look at oxidative phosphorylation.
Cellular respiration is called oxidative phosphorylation. Oxidative phosphorylation occurs in the inner membrane of the mitochondria, called the cristae. Now, the 10 NADHs plus the 2 FADH2s from the two previous cycles go into oxidative phosphorylation. Now, the electron transport chain, which is in the inner membrane, also known as the cristae of the mitochondria, takes the electrons from these electron carriers, NADH and FADH2, and pushes them through the membrane through active transport proteins. The electrons then go out into the intermembrane space. From there, they will go to ATP synthase. Now, by using passive transport, they will go down the concentration gradient, and through this process, they will generate 28 ATP. Also, some of the electrons will continue through the cristae and come out with O2, which was breathed in during respiration. This will combine with the hydrogens, which carry the electrons, and form water. At the end, 6 water will be created.
Guys, that was cool. Let's have an overview of what we just learned. There are 3 steps in cellular respiration: glycolysis, the citric acid cycle, and oxidative phosphorylation. The main goal of glycolysis is to create 2 NADHs for the 3rd step. The main goal of citric acid cycle is to create 8 NADHs and 2 FADH2s for the 3rd step. The main goal of oxidative phosphorylation is to generate the most ATP. Now, the main goal of all cellular respiration is to create ATP. Now let's go over to Patrick with a brain snack. This is my show. I'm giving you the brain snack. Brain snack, kids. In addition to figuring out the citric acid cycle, Hans Krebs also discovered the urea cycle, which produces urea. Urea is excreted from animals bodies in pee. It is also used as a fertilizer. We won't ask how Hans discovered it. See you, kids.